We have Professor Randy Barnett with us from Georgetown. He's a constitutional law professor. For a constitutional law professor, this has got to be like best vacation of your life or something. I mean,
It has been amazing.
Yeah.
It has been amazing, and I've taken away a lot from this. For one thing, I have a high regard for the skill set of state legislators
Yeah.
who know how to comport themselves in a debate, the way they address each other, the way they chair things. They're professional legislators, and they know how to do this. And
Well,
I
they're,
think that's
sta-
good.
they're statesmen. I
Yeah.
think that is the word that we need to use to describe them, because there hasn't been, it's been done in a very professional manner.
Right. Well, professional is what I mean to stress, that there is a profession of lawmaking.
Right.
And they are showing the skill. I was a former trial lawyer. I pride myself on my ability to question witnesses. It's a skill set. And they have a different skill set, the skill set of being able to address each other with decorum and run a meeting with decorum. And I admire that.
and how about even just the analysis of even the language of what they're dealing with? What has struck you with regard to how deliberative they're being and how detailed they're being and making sure they get it right?
Well, look, I mean, 3 of the provisions that were approved are provisions that I proposed back in 2009 in the Bill of Federalism that I published in Forbes.com. But they've been rewritten since then. And they've been rewritten by the committees, and they've been rewritten on the floor. And I have to say they were improved. I mean, so, I did the best job I could in getting this idea across, but the finished product that was produced by both the committees and the floor debate was better than what I did.
That's interesting because can you remember Mike Ferris said the same thing
Oh,
about
yeah.
some of the language that
Yeah.
he had written. It's that iron sharpening iron, that deliberative body coming together and making it even better than you might have done on
Look,
your own.
there were people that spotted problems in it that I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
And in response to that, I agreed with the changes that they decided to make to my own language.
Yeah.
And so I do admire that. And I know that in one of the committees that I was advising, I had actually strongly advocated a particular provision of one of the pieces that passed, and one of the commissioners objected to it. And I'll be darned if I wasn't persuaded by her objection.
No kidding.
Yeah, I just withdrew my suggestion.
Well, and I think that speaks to the caliber of people that are in this room. And we've been asked on social media over and over again, who are these people and why are they here? And we've answered that over and over again. But we've got representatives, we've got commissioners from all 50 states. The majority of them are elected officials, so they run their own committees back in their own states.
Right.
And so these are statesmen. These are people that get it. And they understand that the Article 5 process is the way that we fight back against the federal government, the only way that we can do that. And that is ultimately why we're here. But, Professor, I got to ask you, it's got to be surreal to see some of the things you wrote that long ago in 2009 now being debated.
It is surreal. It is surreal. I'm happy to say that the 3 of mine that got considered were approved, and then there were a couple that weren't approved.
You're batting 1,000, man.
Those were not mine. But I actually think, and I think Mark may have made this point earlier, the very fact that this body tabled one and disapproved another, shows that it was a deliberative body who took this exercise seriously. It's a simulation.
Yeah.
But nobody on the floor is really acting like it's a simulation.
Right.
They're taking this very seriously.
And again, those were items they were philosophically aligned with.
Yes.
But they knew the language was not yet ready.
They was not let ready, or it was going to create untoward opposition to the entire project. Considering the views of people outside this room, it's a deliberative body acting in a deliberative way.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny when they were talking about the repeal of the 16th Amendment, basically, and that amendment, which did, in fact, pass just a little while ago. After they passed it, I was all excited, and then I had to remember, this is a simulation. Yeah, and it was really bumming me out. But that goes to the power of Article 5 and what we can, in fact, accomplish.
So
and
true.
if you want to save this country, you want to restore liberty and our beloved republic, this is the way to do it, Professor.
And not only that, but look, let's suppose you have a convention and it produces amendments like this. Now the country is going to be debating something.
That's right.
We're not going to be just debating personality and who's lying and who's not, who's lying about this and who's not lying about this, and the state of this person's health or that person's health. We're actually going to be debating the Constitution and structure of our form of government in the effort of trying to restore our American republic.
Yeah, I've thought for a long time, even if nothing actually got adopted and then sent to the states and actually ratified, the education for the American people of this being on the news every night. But coming back to the last question on the constitutionality itself, are we following the Constitution right now?
Absolutely. I mean, and for those of the people out there who think that there's some kind of sacrilege in having an amendments convention, you have to ask those people, did the founders make a mistake by giving us Article 5 power to have a convention? Were the founders wrong? when they gave us an Article 5 convention power. And so maybe they're against the founders, actually.
Right. I don't think they were wrong. I think they got it right, and it's time for us to get it right.
We can thank George Mason for that, because
Yeah.
he's the guy that got it in there.
As you can hear by the excitement going on behind us, there's a lot going on. So we're going to go back to the floor. Thank you for joining us. We will be back right
Thanks,
after
Professor.
this.
These people are tired of federal overreach.
We've been going back and forth. We've been debating amendments. We had committee hearings yesterday.
Today's the day. The winds of change are about to blow.
I can see the optimism.
It's exciting to meet legislators from across the country.
And just the electricity, the energy to discuss solutions.
It was the most extraordinary thing in my career that I've ever been a part of.
It shows a commitment to wanting to do it right.
None of us have ever seen this before, right?
That our founding fathers were, in fact, right yet again.
The process actually works.
The very idea that I stood where Patrick Henry